In this video, we're going to set up Ledger to work with Solana and to safely store your Solana NFTs, including staking your DeGods. You might not need all the stages in this video, so check out the chapter markers below and feel free to skip ahead or just jump around to the parts you need. Also, it doesn't matter if you hold a DeGod or a dead god, it works pretty much the same way. Now, you can actually set up your Ledger to work with Solana in the mobile app, and you go ahead and do that anyway if you want, because you'll be able to see your Sol balance there later by importing the Ledger address from Phantom. But I'm not going to do it this way in this video because the Phantom mobile app doesn't support hardware wallets just yet, but it looks like they're working on it. So I'm going to do it on my desktop instead. So let's dive right in. Here we are on the official Ledger site, and we're going to download the app for Mac that you'll use to manage your Ledger device, or you can download it for Windows or Linux instead. I'm just going to download this file to my downloads folder and then click on the file that I've just downloaded. It will open this window. You just drag the Ledger Live icon over to the applications folder, and then once the list of applications is open, just scroll down until you see Ledger Live and double click. That will ask you if you want to open it. Go right ahead, and while you're waiting, you can close those other two windows because you don't need them anymore. Ledger Live then opens, asks you if you want to get started with Ledger. You need to accept the terms of use before you can enter the app. That's fine. So go ahead and do that. Choose your device. In my case, I'm using a Nano X. This isn't my first time using a Nano X. I already have my Ledger set up on my Windows laptop. So put a link to a video in the description below if you need help getting to that stage. I already have this set up, so I just need to say connect my Nano X here. You get this little security warning about the contents of the box your Nano came in. That's fine. Just continue and say that you want to check your Nano. It takes a few seconds to do that, and then it tells you it's all good. Straight after that, I got a prompt to update the firmware. So you might not get this, but if you do, it's a good idea just to go to the Ledger Manager, read what the changes are. If you're happy with those, just confirm that you've got your recovery phrase safely stored somewhere, and then you can go ahead and continue to update the firmware. So click on continue. It will download the firmware update. Then you need to confirm it on your hardware device, so go ahead and do that. It'll finalize the firmware update. You'll have to reconfirm on your Ledger device again. You might have to enter your PIN, and now your firmware is updated, and it will reinstall your apps. Now, in my case, I only had Bitcoin and Ethereum, so those are the only two that I need to update. So it installs those, and once that's done, I'm ready to install the Solana app. Okay, so back to Ledger Live, and on the Manager tab, we now want to install the Solana app. So let's just install that. Okay, that's great. And now we want to open the Solana app that we've just installed on the Ledger device. So follow the instructions to do that. And then we simply add the account. And we're all done. So now your Ledger is all set up to work with Solana. It's time to add it to Phantom. If you need the Phantom wallet, then visit the official phantom.app site to download it. I've already got Phantom installed and I've got it pinned to my browser, so it's always there. I enter my passwords and then I can see my wallet. This is my existing wallet. There's a bit of Sol in there, but I now want to add my Ledger wallet, so I just click up in the top left-hand corner and click on Add or Connect Wallet. Then choose Connect Hardware Wallet. It'll search for it and say continue. Then you'll get the drop down, select the Nano X or whichever Nano you're using and connect, and it will confirm that it can connect to the Nano, and then continue. And then populates the address automatically. This top drop down is just an option of the mathematical algorithm that Phantom uses to connect your seed phrase. I'll just go with the top one as a default, and you're done. Now, when you go back to Phantom, you can see you now have a separate Ledger address, and you can easily just toggle back and forth between your different wallets. Back to Ledger, which of course has got a 0 balance in it at the moment. But I'm going to copy that Ledger address because now I want to add it to my Ledger. So back in Ledger Live, I just go to my Solana app and click on Add Account. That will prompt me to open the Solana app on my Ledger. And then it will ask me to synchronize. Now at the moment you can see I get this pop-up warning saying that I can't add a new account before I receive assets, and this kind of made me stumble for a bit. So I had to follow through and securely share the ledger address. But when I did that, I clicked on continue, you can see the address that it generates is actually a different address. And this is the cold wallet storage address on the ledger and not the one in Phantom. So for example, if someone was sending you Solana directly and you wanted to go straight into cold storage, you would use that address. But what we've got is a separate account for Phantom, but it's not set up in here yet. So just follow the steps to securely share that cold storage address, and then we're going to hop back over into Phantom and make sure we've got some gas in that Ledger account. So we need to have a little bit of gas in the Ledger account to pay for transactions, just like you would normally. So let's copy that address. Let's hop back to Wallet 1 and let's send a little bit of Sol. I'm just going to send a small amount. So I paste in my Ledger 1 account address that I'm sending it to. I'm just going to go for 0.05 Sol and click Next. Confirm send, and it is sending. So now I can hop back over to my Ledger account. I can see that it's not there straight away, but there it is after a few moments. I can go back to Wallet 1 and I can see that the balance has reduced by the amount that I just sent. I toggle back to Ledger 1. I can see I got that little bit of Sol in there that I'm going to need for gas. So now I go back to my Ledger to finish setting it up. Now we're back in the Ledger Live app and we're just going to make sure we've got that Ledger account set up in Solana. So follow the prompts on your device to allow it to open the Solana app. Then it will try to synchronize the accounts. Now what you can see is you've got your 0.5 in there, but the account name is called Solana 1 and it's got this warning still that you can't add any more accounts till you've received assets. So I'm just going to rename this one Solana Phantom, so I know it's the one I want to synchronize. And now you can see I've got both of those there. The ledger address from my Phantom and then that original cold storage address that I set up. And if you want to get rid of that, you've got the option to remove it from your portfolio. You can always add it back later. So now we're all set up to use Ledger with Solana, and we're going to just test it out by sending an NFT from the hot Phantom wallet across to the Ledger Phantom wallet. And I want to try this out first with something that's not quite as valuable as a DeGod, just in case something goes wrong. So I've got a few NFTs in here already. I'm going to choose this DeGod Bit Brawler skin I got airdropped some time ago. I'm going to send him across. Put in the ledger address and then just click on max because you're sending a maximum of 1 NFT. Click on next, confirm that you want to send it, and off he goes. Wait a few seconds for the transaction to confirm and then just toggle back to your ledger address. You might have to wait a few minutes and see he's not there just yet, but you can see by the transaction history that he has actually been received, so he's going to show up there real soon. So now we're happy about how it works with sending a test NFT. We're going to go and unstake the gods that we've already got on the staking site. Again, just in case something went wrong, I decided to claim the dust first. So I'll approve that transaction, claim that dust, and you can see that I've got that dust in my wallet now. So now I unstake the gods, and you can do them one at a time, but just bear in mind that if you do that, you're going to pay a fee for each one individually to unstake it. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to select unstake all. And then you can see that you just paid the same fee for both NFTs at once. So I'm going to approve that. And after a short wait, you can see that they now move over to the left-hand side of the screen, and there is my old wallet address. I'll just clean up the rest of that dust, make sure that's completely reset to 0, and we're done. Now, if I go back to my Phantom wallet and I check out my NFTs, you can see that those two gods are now showing up in there. And they're not usually in there when they stake on the site, but now I've got them back in my wallet. So now what I want to do is send them across to the ledger. So this is pretty straightforward. We're just following the same process that we did with our test NFT earlier. I'll just make sure that we've got the ledger address copied, go back to wallet 1, go to the NFTs and choose the first one that you want to send over. In this case, the guy on the right. I'm going to send him, paste in my ledger wallet address, and then choose next. Confirm, and he's on his way to the ledger. Okay, great. Now I'm going to go back and do the same thing for the other guy. Send, paste in the ledger address, click next, confirm the send, and he's on his way to the ledger as well. Great. The other thing I want to do is move over some of the dust I've got in this wallet as well. I'm going to send over 1,000 of that sweet dust. So again, just paste in the same address, put any amount of dust in that you want to send over. I'm just going to leave a little bit behind for stuff like doing raffles from the mobile app on my phone, because I can't do that with Ledger yet. So I'm going to send that dust over. And now it's time to restake those mighty gods with the ledger. So now I come back to the official staking site. I've got my ledger address selected in Phantom. I can see that dust and my NFTs plus some other ones that I moved over earlier. But you can see that I've got my old Wallet 1 address still connected to the site. So I need to refresh the page to disconnect that address and then reconnect with the ledger address instead. So just before you click on Connect Wallet, double check that you are on your ledger address in Phantom there. Now click on Phantom and you will need to create a new account, but that's fine. Just click on Create Account. You will need to approve this transaction with your ledger, and now you can see it's asking you to work with your hardware ledger device to confirm these transactions, which is the extra layer of security that we want. But then I got this blind sign disabled error message, and I wasn't really sure what that was about. So I went and looked it up on Google, and it's got some steps there for Ethereum that you can follow. It's the same for Solana, but if you want to, there is a dedicated article there on the Ledger support site. And when I went to look that up, basically it just explains that blind signing is required in the Solana app if you want to interact with smart contracts. So you've got the instructions there if you need them, but essentially you had to follow the steps to enable blind signing on your device. So then I went back, I reconnected my wallet again with blind signing enabled, went back to create account, approve the transaction, and now you can see that it's asking me to approve this transaction on my ledger, which is what we want. So I went ahead and did that, and you can see that my new wallet address is there, my ledger wallet address, and I can see the two DeGods that I've got in it and the address matches. So now I'm going to stake both of those guys at once. I have to approve that transaction and pay the staking fee. Again, you now have to approve these transactions on your ledger, which is that additional security. And now you can see that both of those bad boys are staked there on the right-hand side of the screen, and they're already earning some of that sweet dust. Isn't that fantastic? Now there is one more step to take if you're a Discord user and you have DeGod roles through Matrica. So come to Matrica and disconnect your old wallet by clicking on Logout or Profile, and then reconnect with your ledger address. I'll ask you to connect with a Solana wallet. You just check that you've got the right ledger address there, and then toggle the little switch that says you're using a ledger and sign the transaction. Now I got this strange error message coming up straight away. I just tried going back and giving it a go again. Clicked on Phantom, toggled the switch, signed transaction, and this time it seemed to work. I approved the transaction on the ledger. And then it asks you for a username to complete your account. I pasted in my Discord name. It doesn't like special characters, so I shortened it. That's fine. It's all set up. The account there, I need to link it to the Discord. So it takes you to Discord. Just check you're happy that you're giving it access. You don't need to bake a cake on this occasion. So we just authorize that. And now we're back in Matrica. We can play around with our settings. But if you go into your profile, you can see that your NFTs are all there. I did notice that I've got a god there. He's in his old alive skin. He's not dead yet, but he is actually dead. And I found that if I clicked on refresh, then it updated him, which is cool. And then I went back to the dashboard and it was all fixed. So then I hopped over to Discord and I noticed that the DeGod holder roles had been taken away from me. I didn't have access to all of the channels I normally do. There were no server stats, for example. So come down to this Matrica verification channel, just read through the steps there, which we have already completed. It just explains that it takes about 5 minutes to be assigned the DAO role when you've reconnected a new wallet. And sure enough, it did take less than 5 minutes. If you need a guide, you can click there for the guide, but if they just popped up like that, the extra channels, I could see the server stats. And if I scrolled down, I could see the additional channels that I needed. So that's it. I'm back in business. I'm good to go. And I can chat to my fellow DeGods. So that's it. I hope you found that useful. Just a quick shout out to Romy, who did a great thread on Twitter on this topic, which inspired this video. So check out his socials and feel free to show me some love on social media too, if you want to. Otherwise, thanks for watching and stay safe out there, you lunatics.